In this picture, you see U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin, President Vladimir Zelensky, and U.S. State Secretary Antony Blinken. They went into Kiev this past Sunday and had a secret meeting with Zelensky. And of course, he is walking away with so much money once again and military equipment and all the stuff he needs, right? I mean, why would this man stop talking to the US at this point? He's getting so much. I mean, can you imagine every time you have a conversation with a country and you get hit with an avalanche of money and aid and military aid and relief and security, and you just keep getting hit with an avalanche of money every time you talk to this country? Why would he stop talking to you? Okay, why would he? He wouldn't have no reason to stop. Trust me, he knows what he's doing. Boy, he knows how to milk the cow. So, the US announced millions in military aid to Ukraine after Blinken Austin meet with Zelensky. And this was this past Sunday. They went in there secretly, had this meeting, and promised another boatload of money to Lazinski. So the United States announced new military aid to Ukraine following a secretive meeting in Kiev between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and top U.S. diplomats on Sunday. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin told Zelensky that the U.S. would provide over $300 million in military financing and approve a $165 million sale of non-U.S. made ammunition that will be compatible with Ukraine's Soviet era weapons. Remember, Ukraine is fighting with weapons that came from Russia. Okay, just think about that. So they also announced President Joe Biden is expected to nominate Bridget Brink as the Ukrainian ambassador, and American diplomats will return to Ukraine this week after evacuating the country before the war erupted. The U.S. will provide a total of $713 million for foreign military financing for Ukraine and 15 allied and partner countries, of which 322 million will go to Ukraine, officials said. The rest of the catch will be split between NATO members and other nations that have provided military supplies to Ukraine since Russia launched its invasion 2 months ago. You know, that invasion that people all over the internet on YouTube talking about, oh, this will be over real, this is going to be quick. This is going to be quick. Yeah. Uh-huh. Eating those words still, huh? So, unlike previous military aid for Ukraine, cash allows countries to purchase supplies that they might need as opposed to earlier donations of Defense Department stockpiles. Now, I know Germany, it's been some interesting developments. Germany is no longer going to give Ukraine any more weapons because they said it's going to completely deplete what they have to defend themselves. They're not going to be able to do anything if somebody invaded them, if they keep giving it away. That's why I don't know how the US is holding up like this. I know you're not. You're just not saying it. And the country Hungary, Austria Hungary, they decided they will pay in Russian rubles for oil. They're going to do it. And Kazakhstan, that's another country that said they will pay in rubles. So Hungary is actually part of NATO, so they broke rank with other countries and they're just gonna move forward and do it. Everybody can't afford to cut off Russian oil like that. You will cripple their economy. And some of those countries are not willing to do that. At least Hungary's not willing to. All right. So on Thursday, Biden said a pledge of a new package of $800 million in military aid to Ukraine that includes heavy artillery and drones. Congress approved $6.5 billion in military assistance last month as part of a $13.6 billion in spending for Ukraine and allies in response to the war. Zelensky, who repeatedly pled for additional support from the United States and its allies, had expected the American officials to offer additional support for Ukraine. We will talk about the list of weapons that we need and the pace of its supply, he told reporters gathered in a Kyiv subway station before the meeting. In recent weeks, the pace, the number has all improved. I'm grateful for that. New artillery, including, drones and everything that they need, I guess, air to surface missiles and things like that, are being rapidly delivered to Ukraine's military, which is being trained to use it they're training in neighboring countries. And I know Poland is one of those countries, but they are apparently training in more than just Poland to learn how to use these weapons coming in from the US. Sunday's meeting was shrouded in secrecy. US officials declined to confirm that Zelensky and the top cabinet members were meeting after Zelensky announced the summit on Saturday. Planning had reportedly been underway for a week. Journalists who traveled with Austin and Blinken to Poland were not permitted to accompany officials across the border into Ukraine or disclose their location, and were barred from reporting on the trip until its conclusion. Blinken plans to return to Washington from Poland, while Austin will head into Ramstein, Germany, for a meeting Tuesday of NATO defense ministers and other donor countries. So he's getting more money and aid, y'all. You know, Seriously, if you were Zelensky, would you stop contacting the US? I wouldn't. Can you imagine that? Every time you contact the US, you have a phone conversation with them, you have a meeting with them, you do some video, some propaganda video on what's going on in your country. You get hit with an avalanche of money every single time. Why would he stop? Would you stop? If there was a country doing that for you, would you stop contacting them? Shoot, you'd be in contact with them all the time. And that's exactly what he's doing. The way they are asking for all of this military aid, you would think they don't have not 1 ounce of military equipment in their country at all. Now, I know their stash was pretty low, and I did do videos on that before Russia went in and invaded. But it's like every time you turn around, they want more and more, and the US is very accommodating. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.